Okay, so our first workspace is essentially loading data into Teradata. Um, Over here on the main canvas, as we call it, we have the workflow itself. So you have in the brown, you have the readers features. In the tan, you have the writer features. And gray means these things are disabled at the moment. If I enable this, you'll see that in the middle we have the blue transformers that Dale mentioned earlier. These transformers actually are what do the work on the features as they go from the reader to the writer. Now in some cases you don't want to manipulate the data at all, you're just going straight across, and then that's a fairly simple workspace. We do give you the option of sort of remapping attributes on the fly in a straight across. In this case, I'm mapping the AutoCAD entity handle over to an entity ID, and I'm doing that to establish that unique field for Teradata.
Right, and so this is coming from AutoCAD, and in AutoCAD there happens to be a unique identifier for everything that's flying by. You're just reusing it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's just quickly run this. Oh, I should explain. On the left-hand side here, the navigator, this lists your readers and writers, and this is where you can set all of the settings for the various readers and writers. So for the AutoCAD setting, has a whole bunch of options. Do we want to expand blocks? Do we want to preserve and so forth? Most of these are relevant if you know AutoCAD. You notice most of them are green, but we've got some in purple.
Yeah.
The ones that are in purple, what we've done is we've published those parameters. If you look down here, we have published parameters, and now these are all the things that are of immediate use to the people who are going to be using this workspace.
Over and over again. If somebody wants to run this again,
yeah,
this is where they can fill in the specific information.
Exactly. So if you're doing AutoCAD files, well, you probably want to choose the AutoCAD file itself. So we have a few things published here. We have an Oracle reader up here, so we have the Oracle service, and the Oracle login information is published. We have the map info source for our map info section down here, and we have the AutoCAD source published as well. And then for our Teradata writer, we've also published the Teradata host, the database, the port, the user, the password. These are all things that would normally need to be
Dave,
set.
if you hit that sort of run with the question mark button, does it give you a nice form?
Yeah, that's the
right.
run with prompts, and that will prompt you and ready to go. If you're making a workspace to send off to other people to use, generally you'd leave all these things blank. So it would force them to enter the data so they don't use your defaults.
For sure you'd blank out the password.
Yeah, yes. Yes, you definitely want to do that. Okay. So those are the published parameters there. Now, one interesting thing I'm going to point out here, and just sort of showing off the cool things we can do, in the AutoCAD file, in the AutoCAD source, you notice we pick up a DWG file here, and that's the DWG file there.
Yes.
But in the map info source, you have an option of picking up a tab file or zip file. Hang on.
Yes.
I may have done something wrong here. Yes, I did. Oh, that's right.
No, it's good.
Okay, so you can also open zip files.
Yes.
As well as tab files. So in this case, I've actually picked the zip file.
Yes.
So
it's going to basically unzip that and let us just read it.
Exactly, and all of our data sources, our file-based data sources, can read a zip file as well as the main file.
And in fact, if that was sitting on a website somewhere, you can put the URL to it as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can go http://dale.zip, and it'll do the right thing.
Okay, so I think we're good to start our first translation here. So we'll push the button and let it rip. So now we have a log window down here that tells you everything that's going on. It tells you a lot of stuff you don't need to know.
I can see that we're creating a table right now. That's always exciting. Another one. Oh, there's quite a few tables.
There's a few. There's all these 3 tables up here. They're water meter and water.
There goes the commits.
Okay, and so then it tells you your features in and your features out. Now, even though I have this section disabled in here, it still read the map info data, but it only wrote out the 3 layers from the AutoCAD file. So what we're going to do is we're quickly going to take a look at that data. Now we have a product called the Data Inspector, and you can bring it up through this window here, and then we can sort of file and we can open the data set.
Hey, well, you must have looked at this earlier today, I bet.
Yes. However, unfortunately, it doesn't remember all the fields.
But you could save them in your defaults down there.
Yes, you can.
So actually, we should show folks that if Dave's always doing this, he can go down to defaults there and say save as my defaults, and then he'll never have to fill this in again.
Yep.
Is that who it is? Okay, he's going to get a table list, and we should see those water things if we are at least a bit lucky.
Yes, we'll have the water lines, water meters, and water nodes tables.
Yeah.
And let's hit OK and OK. Now we're reading directly from the Teradata database.
I'm going to render.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
There's our data. All happy.
So this is shipped with FME is this thing we call the Data Inspector to let us snoop around and see what's going on with data.
Yeah, it's very good if you're getting data from a source and you're not exactly sure what it's all there. Throw up on the Data Inspector, and the Data Inspector will show you exactly what FME sees about your data.
Which should be pretty close to the gospel truth.
Yeah. So in this case, I just highlighted a feature here, and you have all the attributes.
Yep.
And their values. You have the geometry at the bottom here, so you can go in and examine the geometry in great detail. It tells you what kind of geometry, the line, bounding box, feature type, etc. So everything you need to know about the data is there.